Department's Medal of Valor for their valiant actions on June 11, 2011. Would they please come forward? The Provo Police Department Medal of Valor may be awarded to any member of the police department for glorious action that is performed within the scope of the recipient's employment. The act must clearly go beyond common expectations of courage, and there must be a substantial threat to the employee's safety involved in the act. The threat to the employee must be known before the action is taken, and the act must clearly be an act of courage rather than recklessness with the outcome of the act in doubt. The act must clearly be within the law, department policy, and professional ethics unless there are exigent circumstances involving serious threat of life which might mitigate certain aspects of law, policy, and/or ethics. There must be no safer alternative available that could be clearly seen at the time of the act. Those are the criteria that were used in weighing the situation that occurred on June 4, 2011 involving these three officers and their actions. And I'd like to take a moment and describe that for you. On June 4, 2011, our dispatch center received a call that a young man had fallen in the Provo River at approximately 1050 west, 800 north. The river was running very fast and the water was very cold. Several officers and paramedics from our Provo City Fire Department responded to the area. Detective Troy Morgan and Officer J.B. Kent responded and positioned themselves where they hoped to intercept the victim as he passed their location. Both officers had the presence of mind to remove their duty belts as they anticipated possibly needing to go into the water to rescue the victim. As the victim passed their location, it became apparent that for the victim to have a chance of survival, the officers would need to go into the river. Both officers entered the fast-moving river at extreme peril for their own safety in order to rescue the young man. Officers Morgan and Kent were able to make it to the young man and secure him. However, they found it very difficult in the fast-moving river to secure him and get him to shore. Reserve Officer Mike Richardson entered the fast-moving river, also in peril of getting swept downstream. Officer Richardson was able to secure a hold on the officers and maintain his hold until further rescue efforts were made to remove the officers and the victim from the river. The officers and the young victim were rescued from the frigid, rapidly flowing river. Assisting in the rescuing the officers and the young men from the water were Provo City Paramedic Engineer Ryan Lynn and Paramedic Firefighter Kevin Bell, who are here today. Despite the valiant efforts of these officers, Provo City Fire and Rescue personnel, the young man did not survive. All three of these officers had more concern for the safety of this young man than they did for themselves. Their actions on June 4, 2011 exemplify the bravery and selfless commitment to service that a police officer pledges to provide when they take the oath of office. I'd like to extend my thanks and appreciation to the paramedics who are here today. The entire squad is here as well for their support and help. Our awards committee met and found that the aforementioned incident met and exceeded the criteria for the awarding of the prestigious medal for the three officers. I know you all will agree with me in the committee's findings. At this time, I would like to call Miss Brenda Butts, mother of the young man who was rescued from the river but who later passed. Brenda, if you'll come up, please. This is Nathaniel, who is pictured here, who was the victim, and this is Mrs. Butts, the mother. Mayor, would you come up? What we have is we have the medal, and then we have Valor, which is to be worn on the uniform of the officer. And this is attached in a very nice box that can be maintained. Rather than take it out and actually physically put it over their head, we're going to leave it in the box as it is. And we'll be presenting these. Thank you, Mrs. Butts.